I'm staying at a friend's house right now and I'm watching her little kitty Fig. She's under the tree right now. I've always wanted to like record YouTube videos like literally for years. I think about it all the time, and this year I recorded a lot of videos just out and about of like my life, and people enjoyed them. So I figured, what the hell, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel and I'm not gonna stress myself out to any schedule of posting, and this isn't really about people following me or subscribing to me. This is just about documenting my journey. So hi, my name's Chloe. I like just rolled out of bed. It's really late. I'm battling something that isn't COVID. There we go. I don't really have a morning routine. It's always something that I really wanted to implement, but I think do what I'm doing here pretty often. So I've got a lavender smudge stick because it's more ethical to burn than sage as a white person practicing spirituality. This deer jaw that I found on this farm that I work on. And I've just got some of my crystals that I still have left. I've given a lot of these away. A clear quartz for protection my grandmother gave me on my first trip out west, which I wish I had footage of. My camera was actually stolen on that trip, which sucked. So that was one of the reasons why like I got a little down in the dumps about recording, was because like my camera was stolen. But I decided to get back into it, and I really liked what I've come up with so far. So I have 2 trips under my belt this year, and I've got a 3rd one coming up that I'm really excited about. And they're just trips out west where I live out of my car and I travel around to different national parks. The first national park I ever visited was this year. It was Crater Lake, and I'm 20. So I've always lived in Chicago. I've always lived in the Midwest. And we just like don't have that kind of stuff out here. So I go rock climbing out there and I have a really good time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull a field deck card just to kind of get my day started. My friend Maria has these and I really liked them. I used them last night and I think I want them for myself. I think they're really easy to get into, just as a form of guidance, like before I'm able to read tarot cards, like connect with the tarot deck. So I'm going to be using the Field Guide deck today. Prepare to start your day, go deeper, find good medicine, take a step, sleep deep. I'm going to give them one more little, and I'm going to pull the one that feels right. I got a yarrow, which that's hard to pronounce, but let's see what they have to say. Let your heart and mind meet amicably in the middle. Find the sweet spot at home and invite high quality goodness in. Shoo trouble out the back door with a cheerful heart and a sincere goodbye. Settle easily into yourself. I really like that. Words they have here are tenderness, caretaking, safekeeping, protection, inspiration, providing, and sustaining. I really like that card. So what that's saying is just my direction for the day and take care of myself. So I have been doing that a lot more recently. Like I've been really focusing on self-care and taking care of myself, and it feels really good. Also, Maria didn't have, she took her pour over with her and her cat broke the French press. So I'm trying some instant Folgers coffee today. It's pretty bad. So I've got a couple things going on today. It's pretty chilly outside right now, but I do have to go let my other friends' cats out. Everybody's gone for Christmas break and I live here, so I am watching so many cats right now in apartments, which I'm really grateful for because I live with my folks in a suburb about 45 minutes away. It's nice to like get away and to be able to stay in an apartment again and be alone. I love my parents, but it's definitely been essential to like living with them, is like getting to come and experience other places. And Maria and Tyler, who are the apartment I'm watching right now, they have such a beautiful space that's just like so welcoming and homey. I'm trying to bike again. So the rise of cases I don't really want to take public transportation right now, but I moved back to the city because I used to live in Chicago and then I moved home with my parents to the suburbs. When I moved back here, I don't think I want my car because I've put so many miles on my car and I haven't even had it for 1 year because I went on 2 trips out west that were so worth it. But I pay around $400 a month for this car and I think like that's $400 that I could be saving each month. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be getting rid of my car, which is crazy. So I gotta get used to biking around again because I've never not had a car in the city, fortunately enough. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm gonna do some journaling and drink this coffee and make some oatmeal, and then I'm gonna go. So I've just gotten back from checking in on my friend's kitties and I left my car at her house, which is about like 1.5 miles away, and then I biked home. Love some lunch. I've been really craving tacos, so I don't have much to work with here, but this is a potato that I brought, and it's some garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, and then some soy sauce. Not that potatoes are like the same as mushrooms in that they soak up flavors, but definitely when I eat tacos, I like really crave that umami flavor. And I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for a couple of years now. So some rice into the mix. Yes, Fig! What? She is very opinionated. You already ate. Do you just want some love? My dad got all of us these Harry Potter slacks for Christmas. And I initially got Ravenclaw, but my sister and I switched because she's like definitely a Ravenclaw. And I'm definitely a Hufflepuff, but it's fine. Maria doesn't have coffee, but she has matcha. Matcha is great because it's a different kind of caffeine experience than coffee. So coffee is gonna make you go woo, and then it's gonna just like plummet down. The caffeine crash is awful. But matcha is kind of like steady and it's a really slow decline, so it doesn't make you crash as much. I've been in coffee for 4 years at this point, and that was probably one of my favorite tips, and nobody really knows it. I tell a lot of people. She didn't have any milk, but she did have these oats. So I made some milk, and she's got this really cool thing. It's called Modern Milk. This is obviously not a paid advertisement because I clearly do not make money off of YouTube. It was super easy to use. I was a little like skeptical of these kind of things because, well, it's not really a necessity, but honestly it makes making non-dairy milk so much less messy, and it was such an easy process after I figured out like how to put it together. And now I have this really cute freaking jar of delicious oat milk. In here I just put 4 cups of water, 1 cup of rolled oats. I used ice cold water, which is the trick when it comes to making it not slimy. I put some agave nectar in here and just a pinch of salt, and then I blended it in the Ninja for only 20 to 30 seconds. It depends on how powerful your blender is. You don't want to blend it for too long because otherwise the friction of the parts like makes the water warm, and that can make it really slimy. One of my favorite things about the Modern Milk is that they advocate for saving the pulp, which is great. So this is all the pulp from the oat milk, and instead of throwing it out, I'm gonna dry it out, and then you've got oat flour. This is like great to put in like pancakes, or I don't know why you would put it in oatmeal, but I guess you can. I really like to put lavender syrup in my matcha, and I almost brought this like lavender I had with me, which I could have turned into a syrup, but I unfortunately don't have it. Making homemade syrups is probably one of my favorite things. I love it. They always come out so yummy. I knew that Maria had a matcha whisk and I didn't know where it was. So I mean like this is a little, I don't know the name of them. We used to use them at this cafe I used to work at, but the batteries are broken. Anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and give that another little whisk. Her upstairs neighbors are home, if you can't tell. I heated up this homemade oat milk that I made and it did become a little bit slimy, so maybe homemade oat milk is best for colder things, but let's give it a try. It's really slimy. Okay, I'm gonna try making a cold matcha. That's a lot better. Tonight I'm really craving soup. I brought some red lentils and Maria has some bags of veggie scraps that I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn into vegetable stock. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the veggie stock started. This recipe comes from Bon Appetit, which Bon Appetit makes you pay now to see the recipes, which I think is just such bogus. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pour all of the scraps into a bowl. You can make it all at once. It doesn't really matter because you can just freeze it. This is what I've got. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a couple tablespoons of olive oil on top of this and let the veggies kind of cook down. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some salt in there. I'm gonna throw some black pepper, some garlic powder. You can also use fresh garlic, but I don't want to waste your fresh garlic. And when you put all of the water in, which you just want to cover the veggies with water, there's no like specific amount that you put in there just until your veggies are covered. You're gonna go ahead and throw a couple bay leaves in there and you let it simmer for about an hour, 2 hours. You got yourself some veggie stock. So now that I've got the veggies going, I covered it with the lid for about 5 minutes and they're just kind of sauteing up in there. They're loosening up, they're thawing out. And now all I'm doing, covering the vegetables. So I totally neglected work earlier today, so I'm just gonna catch up on a couple of posts and make some scheduling this week. I run social media for a campaign. This is me looking up how to use Modern Milk. The one thing is that they have radiators and it is ungodly hot. Maria has this. Maria also manages social media, so she understands the pain of having to work at a computer all day. So for my people that do work on my computer all day, I have a couple of tips for you. When I started working on a computer, I was really stressed out about how much I was straining my eyes and I had a headache right here, like perpetually. Turning your computer, whatever you have, on night shift mode for the times where you're not actively working with colors. So sometimes I create graphic designs for my work, and when I work on graphics, I turn night shift off. But when I'm not working on graphics and I'm maybe just scheduling posts, I'm responding to emails, I like to turn night shift on, and any other time I use it. I turn it on the warmest setting that I can, and if you don't know how to do that, so it's gonna be under your settings in displays. Right here to do night shift, so I go ahead and I turn that on, and it's the most warm it can be. It's a really great way to like save your eyes and your head. Another thing I use blue light glasses. So these are actually my prescription glasses, and I got these around starting school online. I used to go to DePaul University, but I left around last fall because I really just wanted to go to school in person. I love school, going and connecting with people, and I just like didn't really feel like I was gaining an education, and DePaul is way too expensive for that. There's nothing wrong with leaving school. Honestly, and taking a break. I honestly advocate for 18-year-olds to not go to college right away. I still have no idea what I want to do. Go off, go travel. I traveled this year and it was awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and get some work done. So I forgot to finish explaining the veggie stocks. Basically, you're just going to strain it into a big bowl, press down the scraps to get all the juice out. Make sure you leave it on the counter for a little bit to cool off before you put it in a container to freeze, and always compost the rest. This didn't even end up being curry, just is things that I had left and some cumin powder. Still really good and fills me up. I'm going to clean up, throw on a movie, and I'm gonna make some popcorn with some nutritional yeast on top. It is like my favorite snack. I eat it all the time. Recording this on my phone to save myself the pain of having to upload videos from my camera onto my computer and then onto my phone again because I didn't have enough hard drive space to edit it on my computer, which is cool. On my $1,200 computer, which is really cool. It's snowing in Chicago and I'm so happy. Literally the window's open because it's so freaking hot in here with this radiator. I love it. I'm so happy. I really freaking hope it sticks. Haven't been getting snow before Christmas the past couple of years thanks to climate change. It was literally 60 degrees 2 weeks ago, which was awesomely scary. And I didn't enjoy it. I don't know if I got to this point in the video, but I left my car at my friend's house because I wanted to force myself to bike. There's my little bike out there in the snow. And my sister invited me over to her apartment for dinner. And she lives in Lincoln Square and I'm in Avondale. So if you know anything about Chicago, that's very far. I hope that you guys enjoyed this day in the life. Sorry it's really freaking long. I had a lot of fun recording it, like way more fun than I thought I was gonna have. I always like wondered how YouTubers like recorded their day in life. It was like, oh my god, it's so exhausting, like probably having to set up that camera all the time. But honestly it didn't impact me that much, and I think it's like truly gonna be essential to me for when I live alone, because I like felt like I was with friends yesterday. It was like just having such a good time like recording these videos. I'm gonna enjoy the snow with Miss Fig wherever she is. I hope like you related this in one way or another, or that you learned from something. Making homemade oat milk and not to heat it up because it'll be slimy, or making veggie stock, whatever. Go cook a meal for yourself, make yourself a yummy drink, and relax because you deserve it.